Hello, gentle viewers. This is Guardian, welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26 with the Chicago White Sox. Our previous episode ended in some disappointment. We did make the postseason. We did not make the postseason, in fact. I'm a big dummy. We finished quite a few games out of the postseason. If we take a look here at the standings, if we look at wild cards here, we finished just out of the last wildcard spot. So, while we're not, we weren't like a total failure, we definitely need a lot of help if we're going to make it back to the postseason. We finished on an absolutely brutal skid. Of all the times in the season to shit the bed, we picked the absolute worst. So we weren't that far off. If we look at our, where is expanded standings? Here we go. We take a look at our Pythagorean record. We should have won 4 more games than we did. And a big piece of that was we had a lot of one-run games. Not that much more than anyone else. And we were fine in them. I can't see a single stat here that really gives me any context of why we played so poorly. Usually when you're that far off of your Pythagorean record, it's either record in one-run games, or it's questionable defense, or it's a questionable bullpen. And I think our defense and bullpen were mostly fine. If we actually break down that assumption, though, we did finish 11th in errors, or 5th in zone rating. This is just me. I personally do not care if my players make errors. I don't care. I want them to be able to get to balls that no one else can get to and make plays that other people can't. The odd error doesn't really bother me. We're also terrible at base running, which is maybe a possible source of lost value that we might want to work on. So, what does all this mean on a practical level? We need to figure out what to do with our team and how we can especially boost the offense, but even more especially figure out what's going on with the rotation here. And that'll be an important topic to sort out here. Okay. So, first things first, we want to make sure we get our coaching staff set up. We're going to need 2 coaches. I'm going to look internally first. How's Christopher Reed? Christopher Reed is a pretty great hitting coach, it looks like. Coming off his best year, 900 runs is not a small thing. He's also pretty old, and he doesn't really get along that well with my existing players. So Christopher Reed is probably not the guy. Lardell Allen, again, other than Garrett Kozic, who's apparently his BFF, not a great relationship. Cameron Sicer's not that good a hitting coach. Una's relationships are fantastic and actually are pretty solid. I don't think it's enough. Maybe as he grows as a coach, we can talk about it. Dane Bubala, not that great. So, I think we want a premium hitting coach. I think that's a key part to our being successful next season. We want somebody that is ideally personable. That would be pretty handy. So let me filter by personality, and we're going to get the most personable guy. Actually, it might just be this guy. It might just be Eduardo Nunez. Only Alberto Maini only considers him to have an average relationship. Everyone else is good or better. I think we've already found it. I think we're going to have to think about this one. Let's poach him off the Cubs and make him our hitting coach. Well, okay. He's a good coach. He's terrible at hitting instruction. So that is... Okay, I'm going to pause for a second there. Personable, please. I value development quite highly, but also value actual skill at teaching hitting. And that, I think, is a problem we're going to run into. I mean, Cody Ash is one of the most successful teams in the league. All my players love him. He is only rated as good at teaching hitting, but maybe that's not the end of the world. It is a possibility. I don't know, guys. It's a tricky one. It's definitely a tricky one. Freddie Guzan is really good at teaching hitting. He's not great at development, but he's not bad at it either. And I think it's as important to have a great teacher that gets along well with my team as it is to necessarily be great at development. I think Freddie Guzman might be the safer pick. I think he might be the safer pick. Well, you don't like personable people. You're gonna have problems with his coaching staff. Okay. Maybe it is Cody Ash. Maybe. Chris Gutierrez is a fair choice. There's a good deal of possibility in making him into a hitting coach. But a lot of people don't like him, including Ito. I keep coming back to Cody Ash. I'm not that convinced he is the very best choice, but I think he is as good a choice as we're likely to run into. So I think we go ahead and offer him a contract. I think this is possibly fine. We're going to try to poach him. Let's look at rookie hitting coaches now. And I don't care about personality. I like Jason Camilli quite a bit, but I'd prefer somebody that leans more towards mechanics. So let's take Tony Madrano instead. There you go. Coaching dealt with. Player development. Let's go. Maini, it is of crucial importance that you master hitting for contact. I'd love you to add power. There's something you'd be even better at. Probably not. Power would be ideal. Oh, can I work on gap power? There we go. That is something I would be interested in seeing him develop a little bit more of. I want him to hit more doubles. I don't expect him to hit homers. If he does hit homers, great. But he's here to hit doubles and get on base. Altamar, work on your secondary pitch movement, or improvement, rather. Jaden Charles, I'd love you to work on your changeup. I'm actually going to work on your conditioning. Oh, it's endurance training. That might be dangerous. Work on a secondary pitch instead. Sorry, I just want you to be a better pitcher. Alright, that's sorted. Let's look now at our... Oh, I guess I should work on Kevin Davis and John Kennett. It's probably fine. Let's get rookies. John Crank, work on your control, please. Bill Shiflett, I have to put you on the roster. I had to find a spot for you somewhere. You've been too good for too long to not be a consideration at some position somewhere. What makes you a more attractive target? Picking up third wouldn't hurt. Can you play the outfield? No, you're kind of a disaster in the outfield. Okay. Fine. Let's how you work on your batting, I guess. It's not sexy, I know, but it's useful. Chris Waters, let's have you work on your control. Oh, because you're hurt, you can't work on your stuff. This is a gigantic bummer. Chris Waters was almost certainly making the Major League team this year. Him missing most of the offseason and part of the season is very poopy. Ryan Jaster, work on your control, please. I got 2 more spots. Jose Hernandez, I honestly think it's more important for you to max out on your play discipline, but especially your defense. Let's have you work on your discipline first, though. I think that's smart. Lastly, Herb Berry. Herb here has really taken the world by storm. He needs more batting eye, I think. Let's do it. Play this one. There we go. Done. All right. Last things last. We look at the solid. Oh, we do want to set up our production list. We'll do that here momentarily. Okay. Brian Williams wants a fairly reasonable wage. I think that's fine. I think he's one of the more reliable starting pitchers that I've got. He's had a rubber arm for the most part. I think we keep him around. I'm not giving him a long-term deal. I think that's... Where am I? Is this deal a mistake? If I give him a long-term deal. He's given me 3 years of pretty reliable baseball. Maybe if the contract was 2 years shorter, if we did a 6-year deal, but kept all the other numbers the same, how does this grab you? I think this works for me too. Let's submit the offer. Done. I think both Puess and Spencer can probably walk. Matt Puess has given us 2 decent years in the bullpen. The thing is, he's still doing the basic job. He's still striking people out. He's still not allowing very many hits. His problem is the walks haven't gone down. And he gives up homers. But even then, his stats suggest to me he's actually a better pitcher than he looked. I am not overwhelmed with bullpen options, so giving him a new deal makes some sense. I have some guys that are possibly ready for bigger roles, so yeah. Herb Berry is not playing an A-ball again. He's going to Double-A. That's at a bare minimum. He is not spending another day in Single-A because there's no point. All right. Letting Geske and Schultz get qualifying offers is a little bit risky, but it's not unduly risky. Tibbs, I don't need. James Tibbs has been a wonderful piece of this team. Unless he took a gigantic pay cut, which he's not willing to do, I will wish him well with a different team. Teal, we've already got an offer out to Aguiano, Tyler Baird. I can find relievers. I think relying heavily upon Puess or Spencer, I'm just going to let walk. Spencer has never been an outstanding pitcher. He was fine, but he wasn't that good. I think a guy like Spencer is very replaceable, and we can non-tender him. Matt Puess, I want to try to trade. I want to see if somebody is willing to give me something of note for him. Specifically a prospect, but I wouldn't say no to a regular either. I'm not taking on a bunch of salary just to move him. That I won't do, but I'm at least willing to have a conversation with a team. Danny Renter is too far from the major leagues, but Dario Perez, I think, could be a decent pick. He just needs... I don't know what he needs. But I think he's got a fair bit of skill. They just maybe isn't unlocking yet. But I'm willing to take the risk, bring him along, and see what he could accomplish for us. Let's make the trade. Done. Billy Reed. Now, Mr. Reed here is a very interesting question. Billy Reed has been a very valuable utility player for us. He started on occasion, he hasn't embarrassed himself. But I happen to have an embarrassment of riches in the middle infield. I have Bill Shiflett, who's maybe just a first baseman. Maybe he's not ready for more than that. But I mean, Estrada could shift to DH. We can make room for Shiflet, excuse me. Herb Berry, on the other hand, is a legitimate utility guy who's really solid. He just had a dominating season in Double A. He's got a pretty great bat. I think there's room for improvement for sure. If I need somebody that's a bit more major league ready, we have Montez, who can handle third base. I mean, Maini is playing third base for me. Maini had too good a rookie season for me to give up on him already. We had Danny Claiborne, who's the defensive glove. All this is to say, Billy Reed wants to be paid like basically a starting player, or close to it. The question is he worth it? His defense makes him better than the average. His combo of defense and bat do make him quite valuable. And he has been getting better each year. The last season he was kind of trash. These last couple seasons, he's actually been a pretty reliable partner. I guess the question is, am I that certain that Herb or that Barry or Shiflet is going to be an elite player? Somebody that definitely deserves at bats that he would normally be getting. Let's ask about prospects before I make a decision. Let's see what the market looks like. I'm getting a fair few grades. I'm getting a blue. What is Josh Morgan's deal? Josh Morgan is pretty incredible. This is an ace caliber pitcher. I think he's been babied. I think you've kept him in low minors for way too long. But you're possibly transformational. You're that special. If this is what's on offer, yet another amazing starting pitcher would really help us grow. OSA thinks he's trash, by the way. So this is my scout saying this guy is an elite pitcher. I would like to mitigate my risks somewhat and try to grab another player if I can. This is the deal I'm willing to make. This is the deal that we should be making. What about Liam McCrory? Okay, well, we tried. Can I get even a green level player? What about Dave Hansen? Is that too much? That's too much. Oh, you're an on-base machine, but you're not a very good outfielder? I mean, I'm not opposed to it, but not if... I don't want to submit the offer unless I'm sure I'm going to get it. I think that's an important thing for me. Zach Saban only plays second base and he plays it poorly. I think he'd be an okay third baseman. Is not the kind of player that I'm looking for. I'm deliberately targeting, in case you can't tell, players that are ready to be moved off the list, because there's a higher likely chance that they'll be dealt. Scott Eaton? Oh god, no. Bobby? Wow, you certainly like your hitters that can't play any position, don't you? Alright. I think this is enough. I think waiting for the perfect deal is going to rob us of getting... I'm making the deal. I'm sorry the fans really enjoyed Billy Reed. They're big fans of Billy Reed. I get it. I am too. But this is a classic challenge trade. This is, can we turn Josh Morgan into something special? And I think the answer to that is very much a yes. I think it's absolutely a yes. I would like to control your demotion and promotion. You are not playing any lower than Double A. You're 25 years old. You need to show that you can handle difficult players. So that's what's happening here. All right. So Spencer walks, Williams stays. These two probably both walk. And then we see what the world holds for us. When's the production list due? The production list is due not until after free agency opens. So I think we're going to wait until that happens. And then we'll make some decisions there. Somebody asked, by the way, I forgot to mention that. Let me give you the person. So I'm pretty sure it's Ironhead again. But maybe not. Maybe not. Oh, dang. Okay. Let me... Sorry, I'm getting distracted by life. Life happens, right? Life, finds a way. Here we go. Yeah, it was Inside World 422, who said he'd love to see us take over Jacksonville. It's his hometown. I think there's more to do with the Rockies, the White Sox. I would like us to win at least another couple of World Series before I feel fine about moving on. I'm not done with this team yet, but it's definitely something that I'll consider in the future. All right. Matt Pless also gets the former White Sox treatment. He deserves the honor and glory of playing for our hated rivals, the Baltimore's. I call them hated rivals. Nobody fucking cares about them, right? Oh, can we sign international free agents? No, not yet. Oh, wait, yes, we can. Right there, offer contract. Okay, when does the international free agent... Oh, it's way down here in January. I knew that. No, I didn't. I told you a lie. Madrano would like more money. Madrano, I cannot offer you what you're looking for. You don't want more money. You want to play in the major leagues. And I respect the hell out of that. I cannot afford that. Jason Camilli, what would you say to being a rookie league hitting coach? Williams is happy about the contract. We got some minor leaguers re-signing. Camilli is willing to talk. Let's advance time. Ash has signed and Camilli has signed, so we did it. All right, great. I need my staff to have more chemistry together. I don't know why they don't. Maybe they just need more time to gel. Hopefully it'll sort itself out. But at least knowing that we have a top-tier hitting coach is going to help us, I hope. Kyle Teal got an extension for us. I still think this is fun. It's essentially a one-year offer is what it boils down to. And he's still been a positive producer. I think for a team that's about to probably have two pitchers under the age of 30, if not more, I really want to have a veteran catcher to guide them through that process. That's kind of what I'm thinking here. Yeah. Estrada has a job. It's just a question, okay. Schultz accepted, which I'm a little surprised about. I'm not unhappy about it, but I'm a little bit surprised. I want to extend him past the 1 year. Nah, he still wants a lot of money. Okay. But Geske did file, and I had a feeling Geske would. I think he's probably going to be one of the most popular people on the market, but I also think we're letting go of him at the perfect time. I'm not giving him $20 million. That's comical. That is the height of comedy. It's more comical than Johnny Comical's comical routine. Just trust me, bro. McCutcheon, Machado. Salvador Perez, Aaron Nola, I guess. Nobody in this class is like, OMG, what an amazing Hall of Famer. I'm so glad that they're on the ballot. I think there are Hall of Famers on this ballot, without question. But I do think they are far closer to being marginal than they are to being, like, no doubt about it, first ballot guys. There are no first ballot guys for me here. None of these guys had a long enough career for me to consider it. That's just how I feel. Um, 3 Cy Young Awards for Blake Snell is a little bit tempting, but he's also at 11%. I don't think he's going to make it. There is no first timer here, point blank. I think this is probably the year that Bryce Harper makes it. It's probably the year. Oh, I forgot about Jacob DeGrom. That's a genuine mistake on my part. I think he's worthy if you go for peak. But yeah, I think Harper might make it. I think what's his face here? Lindor might make it. But it's going to be tricky. It's going to be really tricky. Did Joey Votto make the Hall of Fame in our thing? I want to say maybe. No, what I could do is the absolute funniest thing, which is expose Noah Schultz and let him walk in on the expansion draft. That has some appeal to me, actually. All right. I want all players. I want to make sure the really good ones get picked up. Horner, yes. Ito, yes. Charles, Estrada, Gibbs, Teal, Brian Williams, Miami, Bautista. Garrett Kozic is worth keeping. Chris Waters, I know he's hurt. I don't want to lose him. I think he's got enough upside that I want to keep him around. Adam Jones, I still don't know whether he's a starter or reliever, but I think he's a good enough pitcher either way that I'd like to keep him around a bit longer. We're going to protect Shiflett. We're going to protect Adam Wilson. Adam Jones. I'm not protecting Joel Biddle. I feel like I've done him dirty. I feel like he had a pretty good season for me, and then I just gave up on him, which is entirely me. Like, I'm not blaming him at all. He gave me a really good half season, and then I just never used him again. It's a very transactional business, so Biddle, I'm not keeping you. Tibbs, I'm not keeping you. Jonathan Holstrom has some interest for me. I think keeping him is fine. Mendez, I want to keep. Danny Rios had a rough start to his career with the White Sox. I'm actually going to trade him. I actually would rather trade him because here's the thing. I think he's a decent hitter. No, giving up on him this early is stupid. That's very stupid. Let's just protect him and not worry about it. Who am I going to protect? Jeff Hinshaw? I don't care about Jeff Hinshaw. I feel like you're another guy that's kind of been victimized by just not having opportunities. And again, that's entirely on me. Vantine we keep. I think Waters is already protected, right? Yeah, he is. Altamar we keep. Ransom we keep. Do I keep Montez? So here's my problem with Montez. He's basically a third baseman, first baseman. He doesn't really have another position. And he also had a god-awful year in both the minors and the majors. But he's only 23, and he does have a really good year under his belt. So maybe giving up on Montez is stupid and we should put him protect him. We should protect him from what's going to happen next. I'm going to protect John Crank. We sort by potential, actually. This is fairly important, too, I think. Kevin Davis, I protect. Gerling, we protect. And I think Canet, we protect. I can't protect anybody else. I need to trade Felipe Colon. If I don't, I will lose him for nothing. Does anybody want Felipe Colon? Surely somebody is going to want to offer me something for him. Josh Talbot is not going to happen. This is a big issue for me. Tyler Terwilliger has enough upside that I'm willing to consider him. Talbot is the better pitcher, though, is the thing. Let me go ahead and take him. Maybe we can make something work with him. I agree. I'll be transparent with you. That's a bad deal. It is a deal that I made because otherwise I knew 100% he would get claimed in the expansion draft. So you're going to be a former Sox for life. And if it turns out you hit like 60 home runs in a year, then I'm going to look real stupid. But that's just where we are right now. Let me submit my protection list. Yeah. Free agents enter. Wow, Luke Gesky and James Hibbs are considered some of the best free agents. That's interesting to me. What do I want? I want to spend $0 until after the draft. That is how I feel. I don't want to get caught with my pants down. Because this has happened to me before, where I signed a free agent the very first day of free agency, I lost him immediately in the Rule 5 draft. Not the Rule Checker, sorry, expansion draft. Go ahead and complete the draft. So who did we lose? Epperly, Maddie, Salgado, and Robinson. So we did not lose Noah Schultz. Interesting. I don't hate that. Or did I lose Noah Schultz? Wait, where did he go? Did I seriously lose Noah Schultz and I just don't realize it? No, he's there. I'm blind. He's right there, guys. Whoops. Whoopsie doodle. That's okay. That's fine. I have 7 spots to fill. Shiflett gets a spot for sure. Morgan gets a spot for sure. Waters gets a spot for sure. Delgado gets a spot. Gerling, Talbot, and Kelly all get spots. Oh, this does expose Ivan Orozco. He's actually got a really nice personality. That's actually something I'm willing to make room for. Tyler Brown, fuck off. Because he won't be on the 40-man for long. He's going to get removed almost instantly. Gareth Aubrey, if somebody takes him, they take him. I don't need a first base only prospect that badly. So if somebody drafts him, I draft him. Enrique Castillo, is he somebody that I'm interested in trying to keep? He had a phenomenal year in AAA. Like, there is a non-zero chance that he gets opportunities if he wants them. A lot of guys I thought would get taken didn't get taken, which is interesting to me. Doug McGee. I think I can waive you. And then I'm going to add Castillo, because I think he's actually a decent pitcher right now. What about Tilmau Faure? What a name. Nah, you're nothing special. I like your name a lot, but you're nobody that I'm going to be upset about if we lose you. So, alright. So now we make some free agent decisions. What are we looking for? What would most help this team? So very probably Shiflett's going to play first base or DH for us. One or the other. I think he's earned it. I think he's a very talented player, and I want to see what he can do at the major league level when he utterly eviscerated AAA. This has nothing left to learn in the minor league, so we're going to try him out and see how he does. That's the first thing that's going to happen for sure. I need to settle on the outfield. Garrett Kozic, Holstrom are not that great. They're fine, but they're not that great. Jason Ransom had about as dreadful a major league debut as possible, but maybe I just have to believe in him and he'll figure it out. Outfield's a real weakness. If we could get a veteran outfielder with some kind of special skill set, I think that could be something I could be very interested in acquiring. So let's see what is on tap. Who are our free agents this season? Oh, you can clear this filter. Doesn't need to be a filter down like that. I'm not spending that much money on a 33-year-old. I don't know why you think I'm stupid, but I'm not. Angel Reyes, I'm going to offer you a minor league option. That's a certainty. If you're that good. Same with Vitor Rotondo. Alright, what about major leaguers? What is the outfield market? Hey, it's Dong Moon An looking for $25 million. What a lunatic. What do we got among outfielders here? Interesting. I don't know that I believe in Arturo Betancourt. Okay, is there something going on here? If I had... Okay, saying not a snapshot of my current view. I guess save it? This is seriously the best outfielder in the market, is this guy here, and he's barely played the major leagues? Huh. What a weird-ass market. Like, I can get a fourth outfielder, no problem. I just find it shocking that there are literally no good outfielders. Like, all the best hitters in this league, in this class here, are all infielders. Like, Shalin Polanco is wanting $12 million. He ain't worth it. I'd rather suffer with the outfielders I already have than spend a guy like that much money. Robert Kalaz has some big points in his favor. He can play center field as a big point. Nobody else on the current roster can handle center field. Well, Kozic kind of can. He's also cheap, which doesn't suck. Guy Lipscomb is a player, but he's also frequently injured. could bring Hidalgo. Oh no, that's the Rocky series. You have Kelvin Hidalgo. Um, wow. Like a guy like Juan Valencia is gonna get fucking paid just because he's a really good bat. How bad are you as an outfielder? You're kind of terrible at being an outfielder, but you're also a great bat. Like you're a very, very good bat. Sticking you in left field isn't the worst idea I've ever had. I'm asking for a lot. I'm hoping for quite a lot sight unseen out of him. But I think it's a deal I'm interested in making. His deal isn't that big. He's a pretty prolific hitter, and I can just stick him in a corner and hope for the best. I'm willing to make this deal, but if he gets greedy, I will not be taking him. I will be politely but firmly asking him to leave. Naomi Yagi is nothing worth considering. I know he's a terrible outfielder, don't get me wrong. I know he'd be a better third baseman, but I can't put Maini in the outfield, I don't think. I don't think he can handle the outfield, so I just need a big old thumper. That's what I'm looking for here. And maybe he can provide that for us. Maybe. Let's advance time a bit. I am genuinely surprised that nobody took Noah Schultz. I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's 20 million bucks, but that's still interesting to me that nobody took them. Hmm. Yeah, he instantly becomes the second best home run hitter on the team the moment he joins the roster. So I feel like we're gonna have some words here. How much is Boston offering you? Boston is offering you a lot more money. I'm not willing to give that. I think I'm out. I think there was a world in which I would have taken your deal, but this is not that world. What do I need? I have only one righty. Well, I have Kozic, who's a switch hitter. Also, Holstrom, who's a switch hitter. Holstrom's a really good outfielder, too. Maybe I just run it back with the existing outfield and just let people figure stuff out. Like, the extra home run power would be nice. But if all I care about is power, I have Tobias Kubek, who is power that I have in my system right now. Who evidently jumped from rookie ball to AAA after just one season. So I think in terms of raw power, I think Kubek's got a great chance to make the roster. I have Gabe Dingman. Maybe Gabe Dingman deserves another chance. I'm not willing to pay that kind of premium for a player that isn't a premium player, if that makes sense. I would say slightly more than he asked for from me, but it was always going to be a dodgy decision. I will not bring back James Tibbs. Tibbs, I'll offer you $5 million. If you take $5 million, I will bring you back. I think that's your market. I hope you get a chance for more consideration for sure, but I am not paying you more than $5 million. And only that for your leadership is what I'm willing to consider. Cool. All right, Rule 5. I want to make some room for the Rule 5. I definitely want to do that. I want a third catcher on the roster. I think that's pretty important to me. I want all these guys, really. I wish I could put people on the IL in the off season. Oh, you can. Yeah, you can't use the IL in the off season, that which really sucks. That's kind of poopy. I want room for at least one Rule 5 person. Knowing that, does anybody want Joel Biddle? Is this an offer that interests anybody at all? It's actually an offer that interests a lot of people. Jamie Prest is an incredible pitcher, and I want him, but he also has serious control issues. I'm not willing to stretch that far. Tony Ballesteros is a pretty well-rounded hitter. There's a lot to like about him. I kind of feel like just getting like an off-tier bat is maybe not enough for him, but also maybe I shouldn't be so greedy. If I could get Ballesteros and Estrella rather, I think that's a deal I would take. Now, of course, I could lose both of them in the Rule 5, but this is about opening up a space for me to take somebody, so we'll see what happens. Alright. Francisco Martinez is not what I'm looking for. He is not interesting to me. I get a Felipe Colon, that's funny. I mean, it would be funny. To just claim him on the Rule 5. He can't play the outfield, can he? No, no, he can't. I don't like picking for the memes, but that would be very funny. Angel Reyes is actually genuinely a guy that I already have. So that would be kind of a stupid deal if I took him just for sake of taking him. I think I'd rather just put him on the roster and then I don't have to worry about it. So I guess my question is it worth it to govern for the memes and to take my own guy back just because I can? I don't think so. I think that's being a bit too silly for me. I guess I could try to waive Gabe Dingman and slip him through. He had a pretty shitty year in AAA. Maybe nobody will want him. I hate it. I hate that I'm doing this. This is a very stupid decision, but I think it's funny. So I'm going to do it. It's not like he's a hopeless player either. There's definitely a universe where he gets... No, I can't take Cologne. I won't be able to give him at bats. That's my issue. That's why I can't do it. First base is something I just have too many people at right now. Who are the outfielders? Francisco Martinez is. You're okay defensively, but that's about the nicest thing I can say about you. I'm not that convinced you're going to be all that special. Bill Peckham. He's got good legs. He's got an okay profile. He's got some defense, although he's not brilliant at it. It's a maybe. It's possible. Willie Frausto is pretty good. He's a nice outfielder. Do I take Frausto? No, I'd probably take Chris Cristiano, right? He's got elite power. But he still has enough other skills that I think he'll be successful. I think he is the guy that we try. I think Chris Cristiano is the pick here. And then I'll just auto draft and complete the draft. Nobody took Felipe Colon. People must have a lot of faith in their first base solutions. Okay. I can't believe the season starts and we can actually figure stuff out here. Hey, Jaden Charles is amazing. He's at 11. And I can even bring Gaming back later if I want. Fun. I get a supplemental second round pick. He signed with the Dirty Cubs. He got actually a deal I might have given him. I still think it's a bad deal. I still think his best days are behind him. I think we're cutting him loose at the exact right time. But I do wish him well. I do wish him well, even if he is playing for the other Chicago team. A second round pick isn't bad compensation for that. I mean, if I could have kept Gasky or Schultz, I would have kept Gasky if I'd had the choice, but I also didn't think Gasky wouldn't have a market. So that's on me, maybe. Maybe. Nobody made the Hall of Fame. Interesting. I think Andrew McCutcheon got done dirty here. I don't think it's obvious that he's a Hall of Famer, but I think he's at least in the conversation, and I think he wouldn't drop off quickly. Which I suppose he didn't drop off quickly here either, and I'm being stupid, but alright guys. What's the word? What's the good word? I would be surprised if Tibbs gets the amount of money he thinks he is worth. Boston signed Valencia for $15 million a year. Yeah, but look how backloaded this deal is. This deal is going to age poorly. I don't feel bad about that at all. Got paid $34 million for 1 year. He's not that good, guys. No reliever is worth that much money. Fucking prime Mariano Rivera is not worth $34 million a year. He just isn't. That's comical. That's the dumbest thing I've heard in a while. Johnny Palacios is pretty amazing. I think we just sign him and we don't worry about it. You can have all of my cap. Yes. Welcome aboard, possibly. If anybody offers you like $1 more, then I can't compete with that. But I think you are the best player in this class by far. Henderson's retiring. Is that Gunnar Henderson's retiring? Okay. I think it's too easy for people to hold on to their players now. I think that's why we're not seeing a lot. Brian Williams losing velocity the second I give him a long-term deal is really mean. That's a mean thing that you have done, and I don't approve of it. But we'll figure it out. You got Palacios, so he gets flagged as an IAFA. Oh, you are an incoming prospect. That's what you are. Tibbs still hasn't signed. I think he vastly overestimated how valuable he is, and he is regretting it. I do want Kubek. I do want McGee. I do want Fare. I think after his incredible minor league season, Barry at least deserves some time in the majors. I think Hernandez deserves a little bit of time. I apologize if it's flickering on your end. It's flickering on my end for some weird reason that I don't quite grasp. Halpern, Miller, Aubrey, Freeborn, Barrera, Jaster, This feels like an okay. This seems like a pretty crowded spring training. 6-man rotation, kind sir, and I will let you set it up however you like. This is funny. 6-man rotation, Noah Schultz is man number 6. I mean, if I'm paying him $20 million, he's going to be starting, unless somebody else is dumb enough to help me out, which they probably aren't. Alright, so we're playing Shiflet at DH, at least against lefties, which doesn't make sense to me. He's better against righties. Why wouldn't you DH him there? Is he just playing regularly? He's playing somewhat regularly. Okay. We're benching Estrada entirely, which is not going to happen. Like, spoiler alert, Estrada is playing every day. I'm not taking a guy with 40 home runs last year and benching him just for the lulz. He's going to have to lose his job. He's not just going to have it randomly taken away because you don't like him as well. Herb Berry got worse. That's kind of lame. Oh, let's get people that are injured on the IL. Alright, let's simulate some days ahead. So the good news is I thought all those guys who missed the season entirely, we might get all 3 of them back, which is pretty exciting, actually. Like, that's actually really exciting. Getting players of that caliber around the All-Star break is going to help us out a good bit, I think. And Angel Reyes is almost back already. Kevin Davis, he can be injured, I guess. I suppose injuries are a part of the game that we must accept. I don't like it, but we have to do it. I do feel like I probably could have investigated the possibility of adding starting pitching. I think that's something that I did drop the ball on, because we are going to need it. If we make the postseason, which again is incredibly possible, I question who could actually handle it. That's my current take right now. I question who could be a top tier starter if somebody got hurt, or even if everyone stayed healthy. Like, I don't know who else on this roster I would trust to start a playoff game. I would trust Schultz because of the experience, because he's done it before, and I would obviously trust Jaden Charles because he's amazing. That's probably it. And Brian Williams. I like Brian Williams fine. Yes, Mr. Tibbs. I think you vastly overestimated your value. Am I willing to bring him back for $5 million? I think I probably am. I think a world in which he is willing to take $5 million a year. See, no, I don't think so. I'm already giving you something no one else is giving you, which is attention. I'm not doing it for 1 year. I'm not going to give you that year to try to make up your value, and then I lose you again. Davis can come back. That's great. What's Juan Ramirez? I randomly thought they're like, Jose Ramirez, come out of retirement and start pitching all of a sudden. He could do it, I bet. He could possibly do it. Alright, guys. Let's clean this roster up a lot. 25 pitchers. Lots of them are being removed from this roster, for sure. Alright, Barrera, minors. Gerling, Jaster, Kelly, McGee. You do not have to be on the 40-man. Don't lie to me. I will fucking wave your ass again, and nobody's gonna want you. Castillo can go. $18 players. Still got to get rid of 5 more. Okay. Reyes to the minors. Rodriguez to the minors. Does Jason Miller make the team? Maybe. It's funny that he's barely touched the minor leagues, but he actually has a chance to make this club. Maybe not right now, but he can definitely be higher up in the minors. That I'm comfortable with. One more player's got to go. It's probably Morgan. Go and set up my minor leagues, please. Thank you. Alright, so this is our pitching staff. I'm not running 6 starters. That's not going to happen. We're going to run 5. And give me pitching ratings. The game really believes in Adam Jones to start. I don't know that I do, but I also don't have a ton of better choices, so I think we do it. I think it's Williams, Vantine, and Schultz. I think that's the route we're going to go. Very left-handed rotation, by the way. Very, very left-handed. This is what the opening day rotation is going to look like. Mendez is going to be the emergency starter. Who is our closer? That's an excellent question. I do not remotely have an answer for you. Adam Wilson is probably the best pitcher of the guys that don't currently have a job. He's got really good stuff. He's got decent control. He's got a lot of capabilities here. I think we'd probably make him the closer, at least until Jay Horner is ready to come back. You're the closer. Don't fuck it up. Setup. Setup is probably Altamar. And then we're going to use John Crank is going to be used quite regularly as a reliever, I think. No, Crank is going to be my specialist. Look at this difference in stuff. It's like night and day. Kennett can handle himself against righties. I don't think Crank can. So we're going to do middle relief for the rest of you. Josh Talbert, you're going to be my avoid high leverage long man. Because your control sucks. As your control develops, you'll be trusted more than you are right now, but for right now, I don't trust that. This is very much a bullpen of unknowns. So I think it's going to rely pretty heavily on the offense to really pull their weight. We got to go to 11 position players, one of which is obviously going to be Nick Notch, excuse me. All right, you go to the minors. Aubrey going to the minors. Ernesto Hernandez going to the minors. Easy choices all. Mike Freeborn, you can only play third base. And that weakens your overall utility to me, but you can at least be Captain Double-A. Herb Berry needs to play on Double-A. I can't rush him this quickly. But there is very much a world in which he is playing regularly this season. Dan Halpern very much has the possibility to be a contributor at the Major League level, but again, not yet. Um, remember, Shipwood is a first base. He's not actually a shortstop. He's not actually going to be playing shortstop. Um, no, he's actually might just DH. Okay, so this is. Let's start trying to clear out some of the outfielders here. Hinshaw to the minors. With Danny Rios improving his power in the offseason, I think Rios is getting a job. I think he has earned more than Kubek, who's never played for me before. I gotta go to 3 more players. Jorge Marquez goes to the minors. Do I still have too many pitchers? That can't be true, right? I should have 13 pitchers. I have 13 pitchers. I gotta go to 3. I gotta go to 2 position players, sorry. One's an outfielder, one's an infielder. Montes needs to rebuild his value. He goes to the minors. I'm keeping Claiborne for an important reason, which is the fact that he can handle the infield quite effectively. If I need a defensive sub, it's going to be him. So one outfielder's got to go. Hmm. I have 3 first basemen for 2 spots, first base and DH. So the question is, do we keep Kozic? Or is Holstrom the one that goes to the minors? Okay, right now my opening day outfielder is Bautista. That is the only player that I definitely know is starting in the outfield. I think Danny Rios is probably fine to start in the outfield too. He definitely needs a platoon partner, that's for sure, but I think that's probably fine. Do I just send Cristiano back home? Or do we keep him around hoping that he will unlock some of his prodigious power with me? I think keeping him doesn't make sense. I think it's not worth it. I'd rather keep the outfielders I've already got because Cristiano only adds like raw power to the table, and I've got other people that can do that. So I think we politely but firmly ask him to leave, and that's our opening day roster. All right, let's blow it up, guys. Let's murder it all. All right, we want batting ratings, and we're gonna focus on first the right-handed guys. Okay, let's make the easy choices. Miney is the everyday leadoff guy. He's basically the same guy either way. He's a little better against lefties, but he's still perfectly fine against righties. Miney is our leadoff guy. Every single second of every single day, done. Atsuji Ito is 100% my number 2 hitter again. There's no reason to break up this great formula. So now who hits third? And that is a not trivial question. I feel like Bill Shiflett has all the potential to be a really, really good player, and maybe this is his spot to shine. Wait, did Estrada's... Oh, Estrada's power did not disappear. I just wasn't looking clearly. Okay. I know he's a rookie, but it's either Shiflett or Kozic, and Kozic had his chance to be the number 3 hitter, and I think he kind of failed. So it's going to be Shiflett playing first base. DHing, excuse me. Because Estrada's actually a really good first baseman, and he's going to be playing first base. Every day. Estrada always plays first base. He's a switch hitter with very few holes in his swing. So that's kind of how that's going to work. I want Danny Rios to have every opportunity to show that he belongs at the major league level. So Danny Rios is going to play right field and hit fifth for me. Kozic, I think, is still my best choice at left field. It's either Kozic or Holstrom. I feel like Kozic has been with us for long enough that I want to try him out. So I think he starts in left field. I think that's fine. Bautista plays center. That's fine. Then Teal and Gibbs. Let's make the decisions obvious too. Teal and Gibbs are also going to be playing 8th and 9th respectively against them. They're here for defense and leadership. They're less here for great offense. If they have good offense, fine. But Bautista also plays every day. So the problem is I have 3 players that are probably going to need platoon partners, and I have 1 guy that can be the platoon partner. Actually, I guess Holstrom can do it too. Holstrom's actually much better against lefties. So let's go ahead and let Holstrom platoon in left field. That's that problem sorted. Holstrom is most definitely not hitting that low when Ransom is still very much a work in progress. He's going to play right field for us. Actually, Holstrom, can you play right field pretty well? You can. Okay. It's just that he's kind of a dumpster fire against lefties. So the question is, do we try Danny Rios every day? Because I don't have a platoon partner for him. If we look at Shiflett, Shiflett is kind of hopeless against left-handed pitching right now. Maybe someday he'll get better, but right now he's kind of hopeless. Rios is worthless. I think that means Kozic plays every day simply because everybody else is so terrible against left-handed pitching. Yeah, we're going to do one of these. If I'm just going to bat him last anyway, I think I'd rather let Shiflett try to play every day and see if he can handle the job. I think that's what I'd like to see. I think I'd like to see him get that opportunity. So here we have it. This is going to be our opening day lineup. I'm going to let the AI set up the depth charts here. I want Torres starting more frequently than that. I want Torres starting at least 50 to 60 games this year because he may well be my starting catcher next year. So I want him to get that experience. I want him to figure out how to call a game. So he's going to start every week, at least. Yeah, that's fine. This is an okay setup. We are expecting an awful lot out of Bill Shiflett. And while I think he can probably handle it, I think he is extremely important to our success. If he has a great season, I think we are not unbeatable, but really, really good. And he might need to build on his success from last year. This is great. If he just gives me this year for 10 more years in a row, I will be very happy about that. I'd like him to be more, though. I think he's got the potential to be a 350, 360 hitter. I think he's got that tool in his tool bag. If he gets there, I think we're even better as a club. I think we're even more effective. And he just hits more frequently. Ito is great. Ito is amazing. If he opts out... Oh, no, he can't opt out. He's stuck with us forever. Mwahaha. We're expecting a lot out of Estrada. I would love for him to turn in another season like he did last year. That's my goal for him. Another 40-plus home run year. I think he's got the tools to do it. Danny Rios is a real X factor this year. I think he has the exact kind of skill set that we're looking for. He just needs to make it work in the major leagues. I'm a little uneasy about Kozic. I think of all the players that we have that we've relied upon a lot over the years, I think Kozic is the most vulnerable. Um, but we'll still stick with him. We'll still stick with him, absolutely. Bautista is getting pretty expensive, but he's not that expensive. He's still a really good center fielder, too. How he has 0 gold gloves, I don't fully grasp, because he's been an amazing center fielder. But maybe not like the absolute best of the best, so maybe that's reasonable. Maybe that's fair. Gibbs just keeps doing Gibbs things. Teal keeps doing Teal things. I think we'll be very competitive. If we want to excel, if we want to be a World Series winning team, we need the lineup to gel, and we especially need one of the other starters to pick up the pace. You know what, Adam Jones? I don't trust you as much as Brian Williams. I'm sorry, buddy. Brian's done it before, you haven't. I do think giving him his long-term deal may now have turned out to be silly, but I don't think it's that bad. So if the postseason started right now, who would be my starters? Probably Charles, Williams, and Schultz. If Schultz has a bad year, and that is very, very possible. If Schultz has a bad year, then we overpaid for nothing. I am not giving him that much money. I cannot give him that much money. That is not happening. We think Estrada's, and we think a lot of people are going to want a lot of money. I think that's probably a fair assessment, but that's just kind of where we are right now. In a perfect world, here's what I would love to see in terms of development this year. I would like to see one or more outfielders actually lay claim to the outfield permanently. I think that's a necessary step to us being a great team. I would like one starting pitcher from somewhere to surprise me. Maybe it's Chris Waters. Maybe it's Ivan Orozco. Maybe it's Jay Horner coming back to close and somebody gets bumped into the rotation. We have to get an unexpected season from somebody at starting, and it might be Adam Jones. He has got every tool you could possibly want as a starter. I think if we just stick him in there and just let him work, maybe we get something special. Maybe he is another piece of this puzzle. Waters is even right-handed, guys. I don't know if you're aware of that, but he's one of the rare right-handed people I'm apparently allowed to have. Okay. Tibbs signed with Milwaukee. How much money did he get? He got a minor league contract. I literally offered you $5 million for 3 years. And you said no. You know what? I'm not going to sit there and say that I wish you poorly because I don't. But I think you're fucking stupid to have not taken my offer. How's the team clubhouse? The clubhouse is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. We don't have a captain, so that is something else to consider as we decide how to develop this team out. A lot of things could go very right, a lot of things could go very wrong with this season, and I don't know where we're going to end up. I think we have a lot of pressure on a young player in Shiflett. I'm also concerned about what happens 2 years from now. My owner is not letting me have a very big player payroll, especially in 2037. Yudo's next contract terrifies me. He could very well demand $60 million a year, and I don't think I could deny it to him. I think he's that important to the White Sox. I hope he's going to be more reasonable than that, though. I hope he's going to be like, you know what, fam? I'll give you a discount because you believed in me when nobody else did. But I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I think we just enjoy him while we can control him, and then we figure out what happens when we can't. Yeah. Estrada probably gets paid. If Estrada is... Okay, if I could wave my hands and go boogity boogity boo, and I could make his strikeout rate drop, I would do it in a heartbeat. But I still think he's a very capable hitter, and I still think I'm pretty glad that we have him. So we'll see, though. I have enough first base types that if he falters, I can fill in without too much hassle. Herb Berry could start for us as shortstop. He could start for us as second base. He could be the guy that takes over when Ito disappears, or he could flare out. He could flame out pretty drastically. So many possible futures for this club. Did Edward Hernandez play in Double A last year? He did, and he played okay. All right. Barry could be something really special. Barry could play in the major leagues right now if the opportunity presented itself. But I think it's Ito's club as long as he is healthy enough and affordable enough to play. Yeah. Yep. Okay. My friends, that's going to be it for today's episode. I know it wasn't terribly thrilling. Like, we didn't add any major new pieces. None of these guys weren't on the roster last year, other than very specifically Bill Shiflett, who was a rookie. I think Dario Perez is also new. Yeah, Dario Perez is somebody we traded for in the offseason. That's it, guys. That's it. Those are the only people that are actually weren't on the roster last year. Is those two people. But I think this roster has so much talent. I think it's got so much potential that I think running it back, at least in the short term, is okay. Looking ahead, can Kubek, he's not a righty, is he? He is a righty. Ransom, study this man. He's your competition. Ransom doesn't have to be otherworldly to be a worthwhile major league starting outfielder. But he's got to get on base and he's got to hit for power. That's his calling card. Or it could very well be Kubek. Jay Brown is not a second baseman. Jay Brown might get traded. I'm just not impressed with him as a prospect. I'm going to trade him really quickly, and we're going to end the episode with that. Because I don't think he's got much chance in the major leagues. Not for me, anyway. Truly, somebody's going to be like, Jay Brown, hook that shit into my veins. Nope. Okay, well, there we are. Okay. All right. That is it for today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please remember to like and subscribe and comment down below. If you have any questions or have any thoughts or opinions, we can send you a AAA. Why not? Until then, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.